Hi everyone, I'm Styleboy and welcome to my world and welcome to a new series called Reflection and Favorites. So, you know how we love favorites videos and wow, they were a thing and everyone was like, oh my god, favorites. I still love them. But I wanted to kind of think of a way to make it a bit more modern, like bring it up to date with what YouTube is currently like. So, I thought of a good way to do this is actually adding a little bit of reflections of the month, a bit more retrospective, and kind of discuss like what I've been thinking about this month mentally and some like really stand-up points, as well as showing you some of my favorites. We're almost like learning the lessons that we're speaking about and then we're saying what we're being grateful for. And y'all also want this idea. If you're not following me on Instagram, that's basically where you can really get an input of like video ideas and whatever, because I just start blurting out random ideas. I'm like, do you want this? And people are like, yes or no. Follow me on there. And because you're following me on there, then you might as well follow me here and subscribe and put the bell on, because you might as well do all three and you might as well support me, because why not? And without further ado, let us begin. So we're starting off the video with the reflection side, and we actually are doing it on my lovely pink chair. Oh, this is actually where I do online cancelling because it's part of my student disability allowance. So I thought it would be more than fitting to do it here. I was thinking about it and there's mainly like three things that have really stood out to me mentally this month to do with like my emotions and stuff like that. The first thing I realized when I was venting to my sister about like all my uni work and whatever, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. So the pressure that's already on the outside, I double that with myself. And it's not just like uni, it's with everything to be perfect. Like to not even be perfect, but to be ahead. And it's crazy, especially with uni-wise. Oh my god, let me tell you. There's so much stuff that's being thrown at us, especially coming back in like January. It is crazy. So literally, hear me out. We have an experimental retailing project, which half of it's solo work and another half is group work. The group work officially starts after reading week. Then we have to also find an internship, which is already a struggle enough because you're constantly sending out CVs, applying for applications. We're getting broad spectrum. We're going from like record labels to like beauty brands, fashion brands. Like we said, we're going out there. And then we also have to do like a dissertation project, like dissertation prep for next year, and that's already starting. And then they also want to give us a project during reading week that's due in a month. Who asked? And that's quite overwhelming and quite intense. And I've been trying to keep it up, everything, like trying to like manage every single thing. So like applying for internships and then keeping up with like the solo work before the group work starts. And then trying to think of a dissertation idea. But not only in that sense, but also within like other stuff. Like this is why I put on my vision board that I need to stop comparing myself. Because I do put a lot of pressure on myself to be doing so much work. Like always keeping busy, always doing like 350 things at once, and like constantly on it whenever it comes to chores around the house. And I'm like, okay, I shall always do this anytime, like blah. Like I'll be on it with everything that I forget the things that make me feel good, and I end up feeling exhausted and burned out, which is why I was like, I've realized that. And I don't know what the solution is. Like some of these don't have solutions, and I think that's completely normal. If you realize something but you don't know how to solve it yet, we're on this journey together, okay? You're definitely not alone. For me personally, it's just been very intense for this month, and that's why I constantly say like I've been super busy because it feels like I'm super busy. But what I've done to kind of like help is that unintentionally I took 4 days off work, any kind of work, uni work, anything, and it was actually really nice. Hi. Editing me here. The reason why I put 2 to 3 days instead of actually 4 or going with the 4 is because stuff happened with 2 of those days. So let me explain the 4 days that I had off. Initial day I took was the Friday. Great day. Oh, relaxation. Went for brunch, went to the gym. It was such a good time. Oh my god, 10 out of 10. Love the experience. Would do it again. Saturday. This day became very busy, and what happened by the end of the night after I think it was like a pizza session making, I think I faced sensory overload. And I became very exhausted, kind of trying to deal with it. And I think I had a meltdown because I was just very quiet. I just kind of froze, which is the way I kind of deal with that now. It was exhausting to the point where I had to go upstairs and literally just lie down with my weighted blanket and just try and calm myself down. It was very exhausting. Sunday, great day. Spent it with my friend, loved that. Monday, so this would have been the 4th day off, I said. Well, I did get my hair cut. Hey, she's back to being brunette mostly, apart from the blonde. She will always reign. We had a uni lecture chat with like someone very high up in the industry. We kind of chatted to them and they were going on and on about like the future of fashion and how it's going to be like all these completely digital things to do with like the metaverse and NFTs and all that stuff, it very much overwhelmed me, because it's like now I've got to think of another thing, and I just became very flustered, and it almost made me panic a little bit. Looking too far to the future makes me really nervous. For me, I was very, very anxious, and I think they're talking about these big changes that made me just feel off. And then after that, we went out for drinks and it was fun. So when I was back into the uni cycle, I was just like, oh my god, like I'm back. Yeah, and I don't think having 4 lectures in a row, like mostly back to back, with then a cancelling session at the end of the day on a Wednesday, then having to go in the next day, helps. It's just about finding that balance and kind of actually taking proper days off. And when you want days off, actually having them off and taking care of yourself, basically. However, one thing that I realized, I don't know why this like blew me away, I am going to be too much for people, and that is fine. It's just that there was this like thing that was happening in my uni class, and I kind of spoke to my friend after, and I was like, I feel like I'm too much for people. I feel like I'm gonna be too much for like a certain group or whatever, because I'm very much that kind of person who's always puts their camera on in Zoom and always says hi and always asks questions. I get so excited and passionate about my work, about what I create and everything, because it is exciting to me and I'm passionate about it and I make it. I've always just seemed very enthusiastic, and I told my friend like, oh, I feel like I'm too much for a lot of people in my class. And I was like, am I being paranoid? And he's like, no, like, you're not paranoid. I just could tell. We said this and he was like, but do you really care though? And I was like, no. I was like, but I don't care. I don't care what they think. And he was like saying like, why should you? Like, you're in class, you're doing the work, you're good, you talk to people, like, why do you care? And I'm like, I don't know why that really blew my mind, but it did. And it felt so good, because it's just that kind of like relief almost of like, I am me. Not everyone has to like me, but I am perfectly good as I am, and I am a good human. As long as I'm a good human, I'm not being rude or disrespectful, I'm all good and I'm living life. And not everyone has to be for you, and not everyone will like you, and that's all good. So I don't know why that just made me go, ah. And I also know that a lot of people are like me because of my personality, how I talk. It's a good thing. It made me go, wow. Another one I thought of, which honestly I heard from Maddie Dragsby. Again, I keep on hyping her up. I particularly say this in my autism and dating video, which, by the way, thank you guys so much for the support for that, because it means so much. And if you have not seen it, please go and watch it after this video. But she basically said in one of her videos that you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. And obviously she meant in terms of dating, but I mean it in terms of everything. You really, really cannot. And I think this is one lesson that I feel like I'm gonna take further on. It's true. Obviously if you're being rude, like duh, like don't. But that's not what they mean. They mean as in like setting boundaries, about telling people I don't like this, or I like this, or I want more of this, I don't want more of that. I don't know why, but it really just stuck out to me, and it's just stuck with me forever. And I think it's definitely something I'm gonna take on further within my own relationships. And I already can kind of tell, like, you shouldn't feel paranoid or anxious. How do they feel about me? How is this? How's that? In a relationship, you shouldn't, because like even in a friendship, because I've had experience where I felt like that with friendships, and that you're paranoid to even say the right thing to stay friends with them. And genuinely, you shouldn't. You are all good as you are, and if someone can't respect that, or someone goes like no, then they're not the person for you, and you move on, and you just realize that they're not the right person for you. And you just realize that they're not the right person for you. This feels very old school YouTube, and I have no clue why. Should I tell you what this feels like? This setup? My old videos, because I used to film my video over there, like with my bed in the background as like my base. But this section, it's the favorites, the bit that you've all been waiting for. These are random, don't ask. So the first thing, we're going on to some fashion favorites, because this month I feel like I've been stepping on my fashion game. I'm trying to, at least. I've been very tempted to go shopping, but my bank account's saying otherwise. Boxing Day shopping, I actually got a couple of things from there. And firstly, it's these Pumas. Do you see them? Do you see how gorgeous they are? They're like got a platform and they are so comfortable. I have worn these around like non-stop. Like, I think these are such a cute shoe. It's like a pure white shoe, and I actually don't have a pure white shoe. I thought it'd be nice. I also don't really have a platform trainer. And I have to say, I feel like a bad bitch in them. I feel like they even go with what I'm wearing today. And actually, for some odd reason, another favorite has been the color lilac. Like purples and lilacs. I've been really into them. Even now, my nails are purple. And I don't know why, but I've just really gravitated towards it this month. I just really like it, and I think it's such a fun color, purple. Particularly I have like a flame cardigan. It's just so cute. Like that's another one of my favorites. And I think the last fashion favorites, I'll be really surprised when I'm gonna say this, but sweater vests, I love them, and particularly these ones from Zara. These are the nicest fitting ones ever, and this blue one, honey, this blue one. This with like my brown leather trousers was a look. It was so cute, I was just loving it. But honestly, I feel like sweater vests have been making me feel a lot more confident, and it's making me feel like my style has evolved, and I don't know why, I really like them. My favorite way to still wear them is with a t-shirt. I still think that's a superior way. They're just cute, and I kind of want more. Now we're into the random stuff. So the first favorite is actually my planner. Now, I love this planner. I actually had it last year, and I loved it so much I got the same planner this year, and they're just great, which is a typo one. Now, this one's so cute. It has the trendy, like, color ombre thing, and it says okay not to be okay. Also, isn't this giving, like, Tumblr quality vibes? Honestly, I've been loving using this. I feel like I always recommend a planner, but the reason why I love this is A, the size, because it's like such a perfect size for me. I think if I had any bigger, I'd feel more pressure to write everything in. Secondly, it fits perfectly in a bag. Thirdly, it is just so cute. Do you see these tabs? Do you see them? It's so good because I can do like the month plan, which is what I usually do. I go and do like a weekly plan, and it's just so good. It also has a pop-up being grateful and mindful moments, and I really like it. Because we're into food favorites. We'll go into the snacks favorite first, which are protein bars. I basically got a bunch of protein bars from My Protein. I got the flapjack one, which is my personal favorite. These are great, and I love these because like look, you could just open it up and like wow, it's like a PR package, and then you have like the bar and you can just go. I actually like these a lot for during the day. I get through a slump. I don't know if anyone feels this, and if you work out also please tell me. You go through a slump and it's between like 2 to the 3:30, like you have that slump, and I always feel like it's because I'm always hungry. So bars like these always help, and they also allow me to gain some extra protein. Trying to slowly gain a little bit more extra muscle, tone up a little bit more, gain a little bit more extra muscle. The other one I got is the lean protein bar. This is the chocolate and cookie dough flavor. It's nice. I wouldn't gravitate towards it. However, I will say this for uni, it's great because it's the slimmest packaging. I like this and the flapjack because it's the most slim and compact and the easiest. And then there's these ones, which I think I mentioned before, which are the protein brownie and white chocolate chip. These are, how much are they? 23 grams of protein, so they're pretty decent. These are superior when they're warmed up in the microwave. Oh my god, I forgot how long. It's definitely for a short amount of time, and it becomes like gooey, and it's so good. It becomes like fudgy, and it's just so tasty. You could put it in the oven also. I've done that method where you like oven bake it. They're nice when they're cold. I do prefer them thingy. I am looking to get more. Again, if you know any other protein bar places, I'm trying to look for more because these were a bit pricey, so I'm gonna try to look for more. Movie-wise, I love talking about movies. And for me, I watched 5 movies this month, and 4 out of 5 of them are really good. One was trash. I'll mention my most favorite one, which is The Summer of Soft, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised, at the Harlem Cultural Festival in 1969, and it is such a good documentary. And I think, particularly within history, it's such a crucial point, particularly within the civil rights movement, because this is when we're almost like conflicting things between the original civil rights movement and the Black Power movement. So this festival brought the black community together and celebrated being black. So they were playing like soul music and gospel and just all these amazing music. There's like Nina Simone's in there, Stevie Wonder's in there, and it was just so amazing. You got to know a bit about the fashion, you got to know about everything culturally. It was really interesting to watch. You got to know people's accounts of the performers and people who were there. I think that's what made it interesting. It wasn't this like third person perspective, it was from the actual festival goers, and I just loved it so much. I would 1000% recommend you to watch it. It's truly such an incredible documentary, and for my Americans out there, particularly because I think in February is Black History Month. This is perfect to watch during then. Encanto, of course, I also watched again. The reason why I put it on this list is because now I actually like it. So my opinion of the movie's changed from last year. I watched it again after I watched it for my birthday. So I was just craving it. I was craving a bit of Encanto and I loved it. And I also listen to the music now. Superior songs are Surface Pressure and What Else Can I Do? Bring it in, bring it in. Okay, so that is the first official reflections and favorites of January 2022. Woo! 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I actually really liked filming this. This was quite fun. And if you guys want to see more, please tell me down below. And I shall see you guys next week with another new video. Bye everyone!